Tonight, the Krypton Factor's very best contestants battle it out for a place in the 1995 Grand Final.
Yes, the winners of the last 3 heats and the fastest runner-up return for the Group A final.
And it all culminates here in the spectacular all-action Super Round. Round 1 and the Group A finalists tackle the 16 obstacles of the assault course. Once again, they're racing to beat individually assessed target times. So it's not a question of crossing the line first, but performing best against those scientifically calculated targets. And as one would expect in a group final, it's a very fast start with Nigel Stones in red and Brent Ellis in blue, the early pace setters. And having already tackled the course in the heats, they'll have a much better idea now of how to pace themselves. And neck and neck in the switchback, and Nigel really hurting as he drives himself through those poles.
Brent Ellis pulling clear. He came through to the final as the fastest runner-up of the 3 heats. His target time on the assault course today is 3 minutes and 8 seconds.
In the heat I did pretty well on the assault course and the simulator, but not so well on the mental agility of the observation, so I need to improve on those.
So Brent Ellis making the early running. Now, he and Nigel Stones are the same age, which means they share the same target time. So if Brent's going to win, he knows he has to beat Nigel and put a lot of distance between himself and the 2 women. Karen Saunders in green trailing at the moment, but pushing the 2 men hard is Mandy Wertheim, and she knows what it takes to win because in her heat she beat Brent to win the assault course. But I'm sure Brent here will be out for revenge. Karen losing a little more ground, but in yellow, Mandy Wertheim is beginning to look very good. Her gender and age-assessed time is the lowest of all 4 contestants, nearly a minute under Brent and Nigel. So at this stage, she has a very good chance of winning the round.
Mandy's not the only one to have won on the assault course before. 29-year-old Nigel, he also won the round in his heat.
I think my chance of getting in the final are quite good, although the Super Round can change everything. When it came to the computer, I had a real problem then, and I lost quite a bit of time, but I pulled it back on the revolve.
Brent Ellis maintaining his lead as he tackles the chain steps. But out of the S-bend, looking determined, comes Nigel. Cycling competitions keep him fit and that stamina is really coming into its own. Still trailing in 4th, though, is forensic scientist Karen Saunders.
I'm quite surprised to get through to the group final, given that I was in 4th place before the Super Round. I think mental agility is my best round.
But Karen's gaining little ground on Nigel or on Mandy Wertheim.
I did really well on the assault course. I'd done a lot of training, so I'd got quite fit for that. I won the Super Round by a short head, but I think I can probably do the same again.
Brent Ellis still in the lead. Indeed, he's increased it considerably over Nigel Stones. So as he reaches the Burma rope bridge, he's favoured for the 10 points, but Nigel knows he mustn't let up if he's to take 2nd place. He needs to finish at least a minute ahead of the 2 women. And at the aerial slide, it's Pool's Brent Ellis. He's definitely beaten Nigel, and with a time of 2 minutes 50, he's 18 seconds under his target time. That's a terrific performance from Brent. And now Nigel is about to descend on the aerial slide, but he's going to be over his assessed time. And Mandy Wertheim is still running strongly. She admits to putting in extra training, and it's really showing as she tackles the rope bridge. And Karen Saunders is also finishing well. Can she snatch 3rd place? Scunthorpe's Nigel Stones about to finish, but he's 8 seconds over his assessed time, and that could be bad news if Karen and Mandy can keep the pace going. And now here comes Mandy. It is a very fast time for her. Indeed, she's ahead of her target, but has she done enough to win the round? And after surviving the energy-sapping challenge of the assault course, let's now welcome to the studio our 4 group finalists.
And the clear winner on the assault course, Mandy Wertheim.
So, the full result, Karen scores 2, Nigel 4, Brent 6, and 25 seconds ahead of her target. The 10 points go to Mandy. Speed of thought and reflex action are the qualities we look for in round 2, mental agility. The group finalists compete to answer questions in the fastest time using touchscreen technology. They're about to be shown a series of groups, each of which could feature playing cards, shapes, days, months of the year or clock times. I will ask sets of questions relating to the particular group that they're looking at. For example, if the group finalists were given this set of clock times, 02:30, 11:15, 15:40, 19:10, I might say 4 hours 25 between. The answer would be 11:15 and 15:40, because the difference between those times is 4 hours 25. That's the challenge, and if you're ready, contestants, we will start with clock times. 3.5 hours after 01:10. 3 hours 35 between. 5.5 hours before 16:05. 2.5 hours after 02:10. 45 minutes before 19:25. 105 minutes after 08:50. Midway between 1600 and 21:20. 10 hours after 18:40. Now months. 8th month. Less than 30 days. Middle letter O. 1 month between. 8 letters. No U. 3 left of 4th image. 7 months after January. Playing cards. Neither male nor black. Black picture. Neither a picture nor red. 4 higher than the 3rd image. Not black. Neither a picture nor divisible by 3. Lower than 7. Red picture. Days of the week. 9 letters. The day after, 2 days after Monday. Midway between Monday and Friday. No R. 2 images to the right of Thursday. 1 day after the first image. 3 days between. 3 days after Monday. That's it, the end of the round, and looking at the computer, it was very tight indeed between Nigel and Karen, but the winner with 11 correct answers, Nigel Stones. Now the full points breakdown. Brent 2 points, Mandy 4, Karen 6, and Nigel the winner 10. So after 2 rounds we have a tie for first place on Krypton Factors of 14, Crouch End's Mandy Wertheim and Scunthorpe's Nigel Stones.
The response round in British Aerospace's multi-million-pound simulator. This time, Blackpool gets a reprieve and our contestants take to the skies over the Lake District.
Once more, they track the lead plane, but this time there are no aerobatics. It's a low-level mission across Wasdale with very little margin for error. The tracking score relates to how accurately they stay with the leader, and the group finalists lose 10 points if they fail to fly under the bridge at the end.
Nigel Stones, joint contest leader, is first, the manager of a motor factory in Scunthorpe, and with something to prove in this round because in his heat a few weeks ago he failed to complete his flight, losing contact with the lead aircraft in the latter stages. But this is a different style of flying, a low-level mission rather than aerobatics, so can he do better? Well, so far it's brilliant. Look at that tracking score in the upper 90s, and that's almost as good as you can get. Now heading over a ridge, which will be followed by a steep bank to the left. Here we go. This is very tricky indeed. Just wrestling a bit with the control column. He holds it together. Still overcorrecting too much on the control column, which is losing him a few tracking points. But he stays with the mission leader, and his score is still pretty good. Waspwater Lake ahead, and the final big test looming. Will he go under or over the bridge at the far end? Now remember, you lose 10 points off your tracking score if you don't pass under it. And he's struggling to keep the wings level. He's not looking too good. He is too high, I think. Yes, the leader goes under. He stays above the bridge, drops his tracking score to 77.4. What a pity. Next, Karen Saunders from Hayes, Middlesex, currently in joint 3rd place. She needs to do well here, but is a bit apprehensive about it. In a heat, she crashed into the Irish Sea a couple of miles off the Blackpool coast. But But her tracking score not bad at the moment, in the high 80s, although Nigel Stones was in the upper 90s at this point. Karen's a keen fell walker, so she'd enjoy the Wasdale terrain down below. She might even be planning to walk it. Indeed, she may just have to very soon. Karen is losing contact with the leader. Her tracking score is tumbling, and in the box above it you can see the trouble she's in as she drifts further away. When the red symbol reaches the outer circle, it's virtually all over, and it has now. It's a lost cause. The flight is aborted. Bad luck, Karen. Now, joint contest leader Mandy Wertheim from Crouch End, London. Now, she's another who finds this particular examination of hand-eye coordination very tough. Just like Karen, she plunged into the Irish Sea in her heat. She has started well here, a tracking score in the 90s. Mandy's still nicely tucked in behind the mission leader, with her speed close to about 480 miles per hour. And with being so close to the ground at that speed, there is very little margin for error. This is a very good effort from Mandy, much better than in her heat. Heading across the lake now for the ridge. And a very tricky manoeuvre coming up. She must keep close to the top of the ridge, then roll hard to the left. This is the moment. And Mandy's in trouble. She's come out of that roll too soon and has lost contact with the leader. The tracking score falls away, and the square above shows the extent of the problem. The outer ring has been reached, so she's only a few seconds to recover now. But Mandy is totally lost, and the flight's aborted. Bad luck. Finally, Brent Ellis, the marketing manager of Pool Arts Centre in Dorset, joined third coming into this round, and he believes he has the ability to win it, and with good reason. He flew brilliantly in his heat to take first place, recording a very high tracking score. And it seems to be carrying on where he left off. 94 is his tracking score. That's excellent. Now let's see how he copes with the ridge. Remember, the whole object is not to stay above the skyline too long. That is brilliantly done. Brent sticking like glue to the tail of the mission leader. And that tracking score is still superb. Heading for Wastwater Lake. And by the way, the bridge at the far end doesn't exist in reality. We added it via the computer to test our pilots. And Brent faces that test now. He must fly under it or lose 10 points. He levels the wings. Is he going to do it? He makes it. That's brilliant. And he really enjoyed that.
So the points: Karen scores 2, Mandy 4, Nigel 6, and Brent takes the 10. So after 3 rounds, it's very close, but the leader with a Krypton Factor of 20 is the motor factory manager, Nigel Stones.
Our group finalists' ability to remember visual information is tested once more by a unique computer animation. 5 questions to follow after you've closely observed pop-ups. What 3 identical items were featured on the plate containing the large shoe? What Roman numeral was on the plate featuring the racing cars? The large shoe changed colour. What was its last colour? What colour was the racing car which was missing a wheel? And what colour was the pi symbol? Remembering that tied positions are decided by the clock, Brent and Mandy are second and third with 3 correct answers each, but the winner with 4 correct answers is Nigel Stones.
So 2 points for Karen, 4 for Mandy, 6 for Brent and 10 more for Nigel. Which means that a clear leader is emerging with a Krypton Factor of 30, the motor factory manager from Scunthorpe, Nigel Stones.
Into round 5, 75 seconds of rapid-fire general knowledge questions, and with 2 points for a correct answer, all 4 group finalists have a great opportunity here to make big increases to their points totals, ready to buy super round advantages. But there are dangers. 2 points are deducted for every wrong answer. Good luck, group finalists. The clock starts now. Which Charles Dickens novel contains Uriah Heep, Wilkins Micawber and Betsy Trotwood? Nigel.
Pickwick Papers.
No, David Copperfield. Magician David Copperfield became engaged to which German supermodel in 1994? Nigel.
Claudia Schiffer.
Correct. Nicknamed the Shifter, what nationality was athlete Mirat Yifter, winner of 2 Olympic gold medals? He was Ethiopian. Which body of water separates Ethiopia and Saudi Arabia? Nigel.
The Red Sea.
Correct. Which red-hatted churchmen form the college that elects a new pope? Brent.
Cardinals.
Correct. If 1, 2, 3 are cardinal numbers, what are first, second, third? Answer is ordinal. The motto of which order of chivalry is Honi soit qui mal y pense? Nigel.
Knights of the Garter.
Well, Order the Garter, that'll do fine, 2 points. Polly Garter and Gossiper Bynon appear in which play for voices by Dylan Thomas? Mandy.
Under Milkwood.
Correct. What's the chemical name for milk sugar which contains glucose? Answer too late, it's lactose. What are lacatoys, pirogues, curras and coracles? Brent.
Types of boat.
Correct. And that's it at the end of the round, and it means that the leader going into the super round with a Krypton Factor of 34 is the motor factory manager from Scunthorpe, Nigel Stones. So Nigel has the edge as the battle continues for a place in the grand final. It'll all be decided in the spectacular climax to this group final, the all-action super round.
Yes, the first person to make it to the top of the Krypton Mountain and raise their K in triumph wins a place in the grand final. Who will it be? Well, join us after the break to find out in the climax, the super round.